Hey folks, Miguel here with Roof Talk. Question I get all the time is, how do I know if my roof is repairable or I need to replace it? Now, unless you're a roofing professional and get up there and inspect it, you won't know. But, for me, my experience, first thing I do is get up on the roof and see the extent of the damages. What I'm trying to do is check the shingles to see how brittle they are. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do a brittle test and I'll see if those shingles aren't falling apart. Because if they're brittle, then you can't repair it. You're gonna have to replace it. And usually around, like, I say the 10 to 15 year mark, that's when your shingles start to become really brittle. Now, shingles are installed in an overlap. There's one on top of the other, and he's nailing the overlap, and another one sits on top. So in order to replace a damaged shingle, you have to pry up the shingles above it in order to take out that damaged shingle. But if we're damaging more shingles trying to take out the shingles because they're so brittle, then you're just going to repeat the process of replacing shingles because you're damaging shingles trying to replace a shingle. So in that case, if this brittle, your roof is brittle, you might as well replace it. Also, it just might be in your favor just to replace the roof, especially cost-wise. Because, if, let's say you had a storm and the damage is quite extensive. Insurance company said, no, it's only repairable. They only gave you repairable money. And let's say, in those cases, a lot of times it's like anywhere from a quarter to a half the cost of the roof. So it only makes sense to just replace the roof. If you get what I mean. There's no sense in you paying thousands and thousands of dollars when, especially if you're past that 15-year mark, you might as well just replace the roof, because you're gonna spend, thousands of dollars, then wait later down the road when roofs are more expensive, and then it ends up costing you more money on top of more money. So and then in that situation, it only makes sense to replace the roof. So that's pretty much my opinion. That's how I feel about it. That's how I explain it to most of my customers. Is it just depends on how brittle your shingles are. So I hope I answered your questions. And if you guys, if there's anything you want me to go over or hear my opinion on, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll make a video on that.